कल बाद है तो आज करते हैं। ठीक ठीक है, आप जहाँ नहीं जहाँ पर ठीक है, आपको बात करना है बात कर लें, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं।
So we are minimize or maximize function x, minimize or maximize कर दिया मैंने। f of x, okay, subject to the constraints that this x is a vector of decision variables x1, x2, xn, subject to the condition that gm of x is equal to 0, okay, m going from 1 to capital M, okay. So basically this is a constrained optimization problem. So we convert it into a unconstrained problem by writing the Lagrangian of this, okay. The Lagrangian of this will be L of x and lambda, where lambda is a vector of Lagrangian multipliers, lambda 1, lambda 2, and lambda m, okay. So what we do is we write like this: f of x minus sigma m is equals to 1 to m lambda m g m of x, okay. So this will be the, this is what we call it as the Lagrangian, okay. And we try to minimize or maximize this as it. So what is the necessary condition here? What is the necessary condition for maxima or minima?
First derivative 0.
First derivative with respect to
Each of the decision variable.
Each of the decision variables should be equal to 0, and also that means dou L by dou xi is equals to 0, I going from 1 to n, okay. And what else?
Dou L by dou lambda.
Dou L by dou lambda m should also be equal to 0, m going from 1 to capital M, okay. Basically by solving these equations you will be getting x1, x2, xn, and so this is the necessary condition, okay. So if we, so while solving this, whatever the values of the decision variables you get, so at that point, okay, so you will have the either a local minima or local maxima. We are not sure whether it is local minima or local maxima, okay. So to know whether we have a local minima or local maxima, we have to differentiate it further, okay. So and
So your screen is not visible.
my screen is not visible.
No, sir. Your video is visible.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
White, can't you see the whiteboard?
No,
Hello?
sir.
It's visible, sir.
Please wait. I will do it. Camera.
Again करिए एक बार. Do it again. Screen one.
Screen one.
Yes. Now can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think something happened between. Okay. Okay. So now can you see what I have written?
Yes, sir.
So basically this is minimize or maximize f of x, okay. So where x is a vector of decision variables x1, x2, and we subject it to the equality constraints. There are m number of equality constraints. Gm of x is equals to 0, m going from 1 to m. So we form the Lagrangian as f of x minus lambda m sigma m is equals to 1 to m lambda m gm of x. Okay, and the necessary condition for local minima and the necessary condition for to have either local minima or local maxima is the derivative, the first derivative with respect to each of the decision variables, and the Lagrange, this lambda m, we call them as Lagrangian multipliers. Lagrangian multiplier. Okay, so with respect to both the decision variables and the Lagrangian multipliers should be equal to 0. Okay, so the sufficient condition for minima or maxima are, I will just write down, please note it down. Okay, if I denote k of ij, k of ij as the first derivative or the second derivative of the objective function dou square f by dou xi dou xj. So I going from 1 to n and j going from 1 to n. Basically, if I have n number of decision variables, this is the Hessian matrix. This is basically a typical element of a Hessian matrix, an individual element of Hessian matrix H. Okay, and we also define H of mi, H of mi, which is equals to dou square g of m gm of x, sorry, not dou square, it is dou g dou g m of x divided by dou xi. Okay, so that is m going from 1 to m and I going from 1 to n. That means the first derivative of the each of the individual constraint with respect to xi. So like this, then we form the matrix. Okay, is this clear, these two? Hello, hello, what I have written?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the first one is nothing but the each individual elements of the Hessian matrix H. Okay, the first second derivative of the objective function. This second one HMI is the partial derivative of the each individual constraint with respect to each individual decision variables. Okay, so and we form the matrix like this. That is k11 minus mu k12 so on k1n. Okay, Satyendra, how can I make it small?
This, if you want, okay.
Okay, I can shift like this.
Yes, sir.
How
you drag it, grab it from the right click. राइट क्लिक नहीं, लेफ्ट क्लिक से ही पकड़िए, लेफ्ट क्लिक से ही इसको पकड़ के आप कहीं मूव कर सकते हैं. देन स्क्रॉल अप एंड डाउन विल जूम इन जूम आउट.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you can take it to the more in the more corner.
Okay. 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 So let me write it big. So this is K1n. Okay. So then you have K21, K22 minus mu, K2n like this. So you have Kn1, Kn minus mu. Okay. So this is one part of the matrix. So what is the order of this? Whatever I have written with K, it will be, hello,
Sir, n
N by
cross
n.
n.
this will be n by n, isn't it? This will be n by n. Okay. So then I also write now this h11, h12 like this, h1n, h21, h22, h2n like this, hm1, hm2 to hm(n). What is the order of this? How many rows and how many columns it
m
will
by
have?
n.
It will have m rows, capital M rows, and this will be m by n. So total how many rows now? It will be n plus m1 rows, and this is, and here I write the transpose of this here in this third portion, that is h11. Okay, hm1. Okay, so this capital M1. Okay, then
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Can you please repeat what are h and k?
h is I have written, no? Okay, let me. Okay, can you see now what I have written?
Yes, sir.
Whereas, Satyendra, this is not scrolling down. Yeah? Like I have
आप यहाँ
see this Kij is dou square f by dou xi dou xj. Okay, what will be K11? Hello?
Sir, double derivative with respect to
Dou square f
x.
by dou x1 square. Okay, K12 is
Dou square f by dou x1 dou x2.
dou x2. So like that you will get it. This. Okay.
So you can use
Yes, sir.
different colors also.
Okay. This one. And what about h11? Okay, I will do it. What is h11?
Derivative of g
The derivative of the
constant function.
first dou of g1 of x with respect to dou x1.
Yes, sir.
What is h12?
Del G2 of x upon del x of 1.
No.
Uh,
Del g1
One
of
to-
x
1 of x upon del x2.
del x2. That means the partial derivative of the first constraint with respect to each of the decision variables. So this h11, h12, h1n will be the partial derivatives of the first objective function with respect to each of the n decision variables. Okay, is it clear? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And what about h21? It will be dou g2 of x into dou x1 of dou x1. So like this h22. So this will be the first derivative of the second objective function with respect to all the individual decision variables. Like that you will have, if I have m constraints, capital M constraints, okay, so that will be, you will have okay. So this is, then I write the transpose of this here, okay, that is h11 hm1, okay, so then I will get h12 to hm1, okay, so this will be like this. If I write h1n hmn, what will be the order of this? It will be n plus m, n by m, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
M by n, so it will be n by m, and here I put all zeros to fill in this. Okay, so now what is the total, what is the order of this entire this thing? This will be m plus n by n plus m, isn't it? So take the determinant of this. Okay, so let me call this as x, not x, let me call this as some other, let me call this as s. Okay, so take the determinant of this. So this will end up in a polynomial in mu's. Okay, so this will be a, this determinant will be a polynomial in mu of order n minus m, n minus capital M, sorry, where m is the number of constraints. Okay, so you get these mu values. Okay, have you if all the mu's of this equation, if all mu values are negative, then what can we have? We will have a local maxima.
Maximum.
No, we will have local maxima, because negative values. Okay, if they are positive, if all mu values are positive, we will have local minima. Okay, if some are positive and some are negative, we cannot say whether it is a positive or, so there is a what is that, saddle point. Okay, so this is how we can find out whether find out if I have a constraint optimization with equality constraints. Is it clear?
So
So
the
why?
polynomial is of n minus m or m plus m?
Yes, sir. Same question.
Which one?
Sir,
Polynomial or the
This will be a polynomial of n minus m, na?
n minus m
Yes,
or n
sir.
plus m?
So why minus?
Because
See, here
h
I
is
do
not
not have
consist
mu
of
values
mu.
for all the entire this what is the diagonals, I do not have, na? Kirat.
Sir, could you repeat that, please?
See, what is the order of this entire big matrix, S matrix?
N plus m, comma n plus m.
M plus n by comma m plus 1. But how many mu terms are there with mu?
N terms.
Because when I take the determinant of this, okay, how will I write the determinant? K1 minus mu, isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
K1 minus mu into you take out the first row and the first column and the determinant of whatever is there, isn't it? plus again. So if there are, so you will get n minus m mu. It will be a polynomial of mu with n minus mu. Order will be n minus m. What you can do is, anyway, this is little abstract. When I give a small problem, okay, so when you form this, you will know. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir.
Yes, tell me.
sir, in Vedula for Kij it is given as dot dou to L instead of F.
Dou square L by dou xg. Yeah. This is dou square L. Sorry, I'm sorry. See, I'm sorry. Dou square L by dou xi dou xg. Yes. Okay. So if this is the, so if they are all positive, we will get a local minima, or otherwise you will get. So let us take an example. I think that would solve our most of the questions. Okay, shall I? Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So now let us take a simple problem. Okay, so the example problem in that is thing, so we will come to know. Okay, so now let us write, let us take an example of this. Maximize f of x, which is equals to minus x1 square minus x2 square. Okay, subject to the condition that x1 plus x2 is equals to 4. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so this is a simple problem. Okay, so just to solve this, so we can convert this into equality constraint by x1, and we can write it as maximize f of x subject to this x1 plus x2 minus 4 is equals to 0. Okay, so what is the vector decision variable? X1 and x2. So n is equals to here 2. Okay, so then you form this, and m, what is m? Capital M is equals to 1. Okay, there is only one constraint. Okay, so what is the Lagrangian of this? Is basically x1 and x2 into lambda 1. Okay, or lambda, because there is only one, you can what is lambda? Minus x1 square minus x2 square minus lambda times x1 plus x2 minus 4, isn't it? This is my Lagrangian. Okay, so try to solve this and get me what is the necessary condition, what is the values of x1 and x2 at the local stationary point. So what is the values of x1 and x2 to the stationary point?
So 2,2.
So, okay, x1 is equals to 2 and x2 is equals to 2. Okay, and what is the lambda value?
-4.
Minus 4. Hope all of you would have got it. Okay. So now let us make what is K11? So square L by dou x square
-2.
dou x1 square is equals to -2. Okay, exactly. What is K12?
0.
0.
0. K21?
0.
0. And K22?
-2.
Huh? -2. Then what is H11? Yes?
Uh, just now you told that K is double derivative of L.
Yes.
So won't there be K13 also?
K13. No, I am taking only with respect to the decision variables.
Okay.
Okay. I am not
Yes.
taking derivative with respect to Lagrangian multipliers.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
So what is H11? Dou G of dou x1. That is 1, isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is H12?
1.
1. Now form this matrix. Is this clear? Where do I go? So now let us write the matrix. How will be that? That will be -2 minus mu. Okay. 0. Okay. 0 -2 minus mu. This is the first one. Okay. The second one will be 1 1 and this will be 1 1 here. Okay. And you will have 0. Okay. This is my matrix. So I am giving the individual components as we discussed in this. Is this clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So now find out the determinant of this. This is S. Find out the determinant of S.
Sir, 4 plus 2 में.
So you will get what is the value of mu you get? Mu is equals to -2. So before that, what is the order of this you are getting? Order of the polynomial in mu. First degree, no? Mu
One.
plus 2 mu plus 4. Isn't it? This is what you get. 2 mu plus 4 is equals to 0. Okay. So mu. So this is what is the order of this? First order in mu. So what is our n? N is equals to 2. M is equals to 1. So n minus m is equals to 1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Kirat, you got?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will be getting this. This order will be n minus capital M. Okay. So if we go for higher order objective functions, so there also you can see this. So this will be an n minus m. So when you solve for mu, you will get mu as -2. So what will we have now? Because the mu value is negative, whatever is the stationary point, at stationary point, what can we will have? Minima or maxima? will have
Maximum.
maximum.
Local maximum.
Local maximum. Okay. So this is how we can solve with the equality constraints. Is this clear?
Sir, can you check if it is global maxima or not?
Global maxima, then you have, what you have to do is you have to see whether the function f of x, what is that, is a positive, the Hessian which you get, okay, is positive definite or negative definite.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that you can check. To me looks like, because mu is independent of x, okay, so it means whatever minima you are getting, it will be a global minima. Let us say if mu is sound like, let us say minus 2 x1, it has come, okay, and let us say x1 is minus 2, minus 2 into minus 2, it will be plus 4, okay. In that situation it will not be a global minima, it will be a local, okay, like that. So here, because it is independent, I'm guessing, I'm not sure, but you can check it by seeing the what is the nature of the objective function, that Hessian matrix you take, and if you can prove that it is a negative definite, then it will be global maxima. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is how we can solve problems with equality constraints. Now let us make it much more complicated. It is not necessary that we always have an equality constraints. We may have an inequality constraint. What is an inequality constraint? That equal to
Excuse me,
0.
sir.
Tell me.
So, you said not to check whether it is a global maximum or not, we should check the Hessian matrix.
Okay.
So, Hessian matrix of fx or of
Of
Lagrange's
fx, of
function.
fx, of fx.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Of the objective function. See, basically what these constraints do is, okay, what is the um, what is the effect of constraints on the objective function? Tell me. If there are no constraints, what is that? The domain of our search will be from minus
R.
infinity to plus
Yes.
infinity, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I can get values of the decision variables from minus infinity to plus infinity, whatever is the values. But these constraints, okay, is restricting your search domain or the domain of. So basically the nature of the function doesn't change, but only thing is, because of these constraints, what is happening? Your search, okay, you cannot take the entire domain, so you have to search for minima or maxima within the range in which these constraints will be valid, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If this constraint is violated, the function will have some value even outside these constraints, but because these constraints get violated, we cannot take that as solution, okay. So that's why, so for checking the nature of the objective function, no problem. But only thing again, you see that if that Hessian matrix, if it contains the decision variables x1 and x2, okay. So depending upon that, you will have local minima or local, okay.
So, but are we sure that checking the nature of function will definitely tell us whether it is a local maximum, a global maximum or not? Because, for example, I have a convex function,
Okay.
and I get a constraint such that the function is cut by a line. So,
Okay.
I
Okay.
am if I am taking just the part above that line.
Mm.
So, if I have got say 2 points, that will
Okay.
determine that will be my um,
Mm.
decision points. So
Okay.
even though I know that the function is convex, still I won't be able to say which is the global minima.
No, but you can always say that within that function you have a global minima, na?
So I'm taking the function above the part where the line has cut.
Fine. See, when do we say that a function Hessian is positive definite, or let us say positive definite? When do we say it is positive definite?
So
Strictly positive definite.
when all the terms are negative.
When all the eigenvalues are negative.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Independent
And they are independent of
independent
given variables. Let us say I get my lambda 1, lambda 2, this what is that eigenvector? Okay, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda n. No, all are negative. Okay, but they are independent of x1, x2. Let us I get -2, -4, -8 like this. Okay, and they do not depend upon what type of x value you get. X1, x2 you have it, isn't it?
Yes, sir, I got your point. But
Uh,
what I was trying to ask that, for example, I have a 2D function and it looks like the function of x square.
okay.
Okay. And now I have a line, say y is equal to 3 plus y is equal to x minus 3.
Okay.
Now I'll get
So let me write it. Maximize x square or minimize x square you want to do. Let us say minimize x square. Okay. This is your objective function. Okay.
yes.
Subject to what is the constraint you want to give?
So y is equal to x
And there
minus
is no
3.
y no here.
Oh,
Let us say subject to the condition that x is equals to 2 or x is so such type of see by knowing the I think what you can do is you can formulate one small problem. Okay,
yes, sir. Okay.
this is too simple a problem which we are discussing now, this x square and x is equals to 2. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can formulate a function and see, but what I want to impress upon you is that if these eigenvectors are independent of the decision variables, okay, and they are all negative, then it will be a global minima. Okay, whatever
And
minima,
yes, and the
sorry,
doubt is
maxima. Okay, tell
and the
me.
doubt is that if my domain does not contain that point where the minima lies, then will I still be able to say that this will be the global minima or maxima?
Let me answer you pictorially if I can,
Yes,
if I can do it. Let us take a simple example with only one variable, x versus f of x. Okay, hello.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let us say this is a convex function like this.
Hmm.
Okay, so if it is an unconstrained minimization problem, where do I get this? Where do I get the minima? Let us say at this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Hmm.
let me call this as this. What you are telling is, now if my domain is not here, it may be here. Okay, because your constraint is making your domain not the entire thing, but you are making it between these two values, let us say
And
A and B.
and also,
Tell me.
for example, the domain consists of two parts like A and B in the right of x and A dash and B dash in the left of x.
Okay, that means you also have A dash B dash here.
Yes, sir. So these two are domain. Then
Okay. Then you may not be able to tell which one is correct.
yes, sir. And
But can we have a domain like this?
Sir, because sir, in this necessary condition, that is slope is equal to 0 is not there in both the domains. So first condition is not satisfied, I think.
But
So-
let us say if I keep it here, I do know which one is the lowest. This is the one, no?
So that's fine, but matlab, if we have a domain like this, then and to Harshal, since the question was to maximize the given function in this domain, so we essentially have to answer that.
No, we are talking about convex function. We are talking of minimization, Tyagi.
Yes, sir, fine. If we have to tell that we have to tell the minima of this function in this domain, then we will have to answer that, na? Even if the condition is not satisfied,
See,
the first condition.
actually, see, if you have a domain like this, okay, which you have given these constraints, then you may not have any solution for this.
But sir, looking at the graph, we can always say that the minima to this function can come on a dash or at a, and then
Yeah.
finding the value corresponding to a and a dash, we can then tell that here is the minima.
So that is what I am saying. That's what. So you will get. You can tell whether it is local minima or local maxima. In that way, when you find out the Hessian of this h, okay, it will be a function of x. It will not be independent of x. That's what I'm saying.
So, but it was a convex function.
Convex function, but see, in the last class we have solved one problem with x1 cube and all.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
I remember.
So in that, at one place you get maxima and at one place you get minima. Because the function behaves as a concave function in one domain and convex function in one domain.
Yes, sir, but this is not the case with this function.
See, here I have just given a pictorial representation. What I am telling you is that if such a case is there, when you find out h, okay, the eigenvalues which you get, okay, they will not be strictly negative or strictly positive, independent of the x.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me think it over. Okay, I know that I have not answered to your full satisfaction. Okay, still I do have some. Yeah, it's a good question. Okay, so let me think it over. Okay, as of now I am whatever I am getting is only about this. Okay, so let me think it over. Okay.
Yes, sir, fine. Thank you.
Okay. So now let us go to the with inequality constraints. That means constraint optimization with inequality constraints. Okay, so again we either maximize or minimize f of x, where x is a vector of n decision variables. Okay, subject to the condition that gm of x, okay, is less than or equal to 0, m going from 1 to m. Okay, so here we are. Uh, this is not an equality constraint. This is an inequality constraint. So how can we go about solving this? Hello? Is my question clear?
Yes, sir.
How can we Sir, let me put it this way. How can I convert it into an unconstrained minimization problem the way we have done the equality constraints? How many, what else we can do? How can, first of all, how can I make this as an equality constraint? This what I am.
So by adding a constant to it.
So I can by adding a positive constant, isn't it? Not constant, by adding a positive constant, because this is a less than or equal to. So I have to add some positive quantity, isn't it? I cannot add a negative quantity.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we can convert this into maximize or minimize f of x, okay, subject to the condition that gm of x plus sm square, okay, is equals to 0, m going from 1 to. So how many sm values will be there?
M.
There will be m. If I have m constraint, for each of them I have to add one s, isn't it? S1, S2, S, okay, S3, like that. I have to add m numbers. See, here I am putting it as sm square just to indicate that, okay, if I write only s, it may be positive or negative, but if I write sm square, okay, so it is always a positive quantity, isn't it? Okay. Flow. What else if I have like this? Gm of x is a greater than or equal to, this type of constraints is also possible, no? Or some are positive less than or equal to, or some are positive greater than or equal to. So what can we do? So if it is a less than or equal to, we will add a positive quantity. If it is greater than or equal to, then we will
Subtract.
subtract a positive quantity. Okay. So these variables which we add or deduct to make the inequality constraint to equality constraint, they are called slack variables. Slack variables are the ones which we add for less than or equal to. Suppose if I have this, let me, if it is like gm of x minus sm square is equals to 0, where you are writing, this is what we call it as the surplus variables. We have to, okay. So what we have done here is now that we have converted the inequality constraints by adding slack variables or deducting surplus variables to the inequality constraints. Once we get this, so now what will be our objective function? Now our this thing, it will be maximize or minimize f of x subject to gm of x plus sm square is equals to 0, okay, m going from 1 to m. I'm not taking about this we will take later also in the next class, okay. So now we have got, what I did is I have converted this constraint of inequality constraint to equality constraint. So how can now I solve this? How can I get the minimize or maximize this?
So same as we did with the help of Lagrangians.
Yeah, so we have to form the Lagrangian That will be, now your Lagrangian will be a function of x, the Lagrangian multipliers lambda, and also
SM.
Sm square. That will be f of x minus sigma I is equals to 1 to m lambda m into gm of x plus Sm square. Okay, so again the necessary conditions, all these things we will see in the next class, because now its time is too less. So in the next class we will again start with this. Okay, so and again we will see how many how much we will be how we will be converting it to a constrained unconstrained problem, and how we will solve it. Okay, how many students are there in this class, BTech students in this course? Any idea? Hello?
Sir, on the WhatsApp group that we created, there are like 58 students, and
50.
I'm guessing that only BTech students joined because I gave the link only in our group.
Okay, I think I will ask because there is only one MTech student, so this Harshal Shende. Okay, I will please I will ask Harshal
Yes,
Shinde.
sir.
Harshal Shinde, you give your mobile number to Kirat. Okay, she will add you also,
Okay.
because one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you, Kirat, can you take can you include him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is only one MTech student who has given. So out of 50, only 37 has come today. So from next week, what I will do is, okay, because now still there are some students portals are not activated properly. So I am giving this week also. From next week, what I will do is I will take the attendance, because 50 attendance is not a big thing, because I want that I will give marks to this attendance. I will first 5 minutes. Okay, I will wait for 5 minutes, then I will take the attendance. I will call one by one. Okay, I will be knowing whoever all come, but I will be calling, and whoever has come, I will be, as in the class, I will be making them present, and whoever join later, I won't be giving it, and there will be 10 or 15 marks for the attendance. Okay. Hello. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I don't want because last semester also there were complaints that people who are sincere were not really because it is very difficult for us to see whether the assignments are done properly or by copying and all. It is very difficult. Okay, but however, at least to some extent this attendance will make us, and I will also ask me questions randomly. If somebody is just has switched on, logged on, and he is not attending, so if he doesn't answer and he doesn't respond, okay, then I will make them absent for that class. There are people who just log on and they don't, that's all, logged on and go off. We don't know now. So there should be some way of monitoring, and I want that people who are sincerely attending, they should be rewarded. This is one way of checking whether students are sincere or not. Okay, and also I will have an individual viva. Okay, so that viva will also have I will be calling one by one. Okay, last semester also channel hydraulics, I conducted individual viva for all the 150 students. I just for 1 week I just took them viva 10 minutes each for each of the students. So here the class is small, so I can make it still. Okay, so there will be an individual viva, assignments, attendance. So all these will be a part of your classwork sessions. Okay. Hello. Is this
Okay,
clear?
sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you inform Kira that okay, attendance will have a marks component. Okay. Whoever is not attending, they will get less.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Bye. So we will meet on Friday. Okay. Friday 5 to 6. Okay. Bye.
Bye, sir.